Welcome to day 5, part 2 of how to turn your Suet tallow into amazing skincare. So what we are doing now is we're letting our herbs go ahead and melt down with our jojoba and squalane. I am going to stir it periodically during the 4 to 6 hours that we have it on low to medium heat, and then I'm going to go ahead and strain once all of the tallow is melted. I love to use these strainer bags, and here is a pro tip. So I have the strainer bags in the link in our bio under Shop Our Equipment. These strainer bags make my life so easy. However, when you use them, I really encourage you to use them inside out. You can see how my seam runs along the outside of the bag. When I do an herbal infusion, it's really challenging to get all of the little particles of the chamomile out of these bags. So I've flipped the bag inside out, which prevents me from having to scrub that seam really hard. Next is an optional step. So I am going to be adding beeswax into our tallow. I love that it provides another moisture barrier to the skin, but also we're in Texas, so this is going to help with melting, especially during the summertime. Now I am going to be doing 0.7 pounds of beeswax. Today I'm going to be using these beeswax pucks, and this was just because of an accident that happened when one of our beeswax bags ripped, and I did not want to waste all of the beeswax. So we melted it down and added them to these little silicone molds so that we wouldn't waste it, but usually it comes in little beads like you're seeing here. I am going to be extremely precise with the beeswax. Now remember, I measure my beeswax based off of the tallow and jojoba combined weight. So combined, it's like 9.02, I believe is what it was. I'm going to be adding a little bit under 10%. This is just a personal preference. You can play around with your ratios. I'm going to let the beeswax melt over medium to high heat. As soon as it's done melting, I'm going to put it in a pan to be popped in the fridge. One of the biggest things that I see people do that creates hardship for them later on is they leave their tallow in the fridge for too long, or they're not using a pan with a large surface area. I love these rectangle pans with lids. I pop them in my fridge, and then about 40 minutes later, it's getting soft and it's ready for me to mix. So I'm going to go ahead and mix it all up so the tallow is cooling evenly. And then wait until it is solidified, not too hard. And then tomorrow, come back here because we're going to be piping and drying and labeling. It's going to be great. See you tomorrow.